I saw this story and I thought, my goodness, you hear all the time how crazy and racist and awful the NFL is, right? Particularly as it pertains to black quarterbacks. This is one of the biggest lies that exists in all of sports. There is no racism, in my opinion, against black quarterbacks. It doesn't exist. If it did exist, then your team, by being not racist, would actually have a huge competitive advantage over everyone else. The best way to analyze this, in my opinion, is by salaries. And Deshaun Watson is a crazy story. Accused of sexual assault by 30 different women, the vast majority of whom were minorities, sits out a year because he demands that he be traded from the Houston Texans, and then gets the biggest guaranteed contract from the Cleveland Browns in the history of football. The history of football. And I saw this tweet from Warren Sharp. Never before has an NFL player's cap hit exceeded $39 million in a single season. That all changes this year. I'm reading from Warren Sharp's tweet. Deshaun Watson will count $54,993,000 in 2023, the largest for any player in NFL history by $15 million. Watson will then cost the Browns $54.9 million every year all the way through 2026. The NFL is so racist that you can be charged with sexually assaulting 30 different women in a civil court. You can then get a contract that pays you more than any player in the history of football that will lead to a cap hit of $54.9 million in 23, 24, 25, and 26, substantially more than any player has ever cost in the history of football since it began to be played. Deshaun Watson is a black quarterback. What matters there is his quarterback talent, not his race at all. Because if the NFL were truly biased, they wouldn't have made the highest paid player in the history of the game of football a guy who has been charged with sexual assault by 30 different women. Now, we can agree or disagree. He did not get criminally charged. These were civil assaults. He paid out millions of dollars to settle these claims. My point here is pretty clear. All the NFL cares about is whether you can help a team win or not. Nothing else matters. Deshaun Watson is a perfect example of this. He's a black quarterback who is the highest paid in the history of the league, despite 30 women accusing him of sexual assault. He has blown up, to a large extent, the Cleveland Browns salary cap to a degree that has never existed in the history of the NFL. If the NFL were racist, it's a crazy decision to be making. The NFL doesn't care about black, white, yellow, any other color. All they care about is green. If you make a team more likely to win, so long as they believe your talents exceed your problems, they will pay you to the high heavens. Deshaun Watson proves that beyond a shadow of a doubt.